My earliest memory of this world, I was about 2 years old, and I know that I was 2 years old because I was in the crib parked next to the south exposure in my parents' bedroom. And in those days, the houses did not have air conditioning, so the windows that they put in were ginormous. They were big windows. And I remember it was in the evening, and I think it was after a summer thunderstorm. The window was full open, and I remember standing looking outside the window, and I know I was about 2 because I remember teething on the rail of my crib thinking how good that felt. So it was probably the summer of my second year. And I remember thinking in terms as the same as I do today, same consciousness and even the same level of intellect. Just no way to really communicate that because I hadn't got that far yet. But within myself, it was pretty clear. And I remember looking out the window, and I remember smelling the musty, dusty smell of screen windows. They would collect dust, and then if it rained, they would get wet, and it would get kind of a funny, musky smell. And I remember looking out the window and thinking to myself, I'm a stranger here. Where is this place? Or what is this place? And I remember looking out the window through, or draped around me, I guess, so to speak, was some pastel sheer curtains that was popular back in the early 50s. And looking out over through the window out across the neighbor's front yard to a street corner, which is 11th and Johnson Avenue in Larned, Kansas. And really wondering, well, what place is this? I'm a stranger here. And that was my first experience. And I think it has led me to believe that even little children are grown-up spirits. Because I didn't think as a child, I thought just like I do now as an adult. So I think we come to this earth, I think that gives me a testimony that there was a premortal life. We did exist before this time, and we are intelligence or light or spirit, and there is purpose for this life, which I think we'll talk about sometime in the future. But that was my first experience, and I really do appreciate little children and babies because they are spirits that are here from a heavenly world, a heavenly home, and we need to treat them as such. All right, well, that's it for now. I want to add an epilogue to this episode. As you children grew, my kids grew, I would often tell them that the only difference between you and me is that I got here first. And I've tried to adopt that principle in my relationship with my children, that there's no difference between me and them except that I got here first. And part of my responsibility for being here first is to be that guide and that help along their way as I was helped by my father. And so that's the spirit that I've led throughout most of my life, and I know is a true principle. So as you interact with your children and your children's children and all posterity that I might have, keep that in mind. The only difference between you and your children is you got here first.